and today we are talking Metallica. It's your ultimate guide to Metallica, and I said we, not because it's you and I, but because it's we, a bunch of us, well, at least one special guest. And I learned early on when it came to interviewing people and doing live streams in particular, or anytime you're going to appear with somebody else, always pick somebody who's more knowledgeable than you and smarter than you, because the show will go so much better and they will be the superstar and the burden will be on them to dazzle the audience. And today is no exception, my friends. Today I have a very special guest. You may know her from the series Planet Cool Stuff, although I believe today is the episode that it premieres, but you may know her from Action Figure Adventure season 2. Can't remember if she's in season 1. I think she is, but I don't know for sure because my memory is Swiss cheese. But today she's coming on to talk Metallica because she's an awesome metalhead, in addition to knowing tons about action figures. And as you'll discover in Planet Cool Stuff, a little bit about Universal Monsters. She loves some metal. So let me bring on my good friend Cindy. Welcome.
Hi. That's quite the introduction, sir. Should I back out now?
No. The stage has been set. You are not the warm-up act. I am. You are the headliner, my friend, for today's episode.
Oh, good. I am.
I was blown away.
See what you have.
Well, I was blown away to find out that you wanted to subject yourself to, a good half hour to an hour of Rabonia talking about Metallica.
Lapse in judgment. Yeah.
Fair
Lapse
enough.
in judgment.
Not enough coffee, huh?
I've only had one cup today.
Yeah,
so,
I've caught you between cups at a moment of weakness. I get it.
There. Yeah. We'll blame Nathan.
I always like to start off these ultimate guides to talking about a bit of a personal connection. And then as we get into talking about our ultimate guide to Metallica, in which we will criticize, critique, discern, stomp, and hoot and holler over apparently ranked lists, in our case, that rank the best Metallica songs in order.
Oh, wow.
I'd like to kind of give a bit of a definition of what you think makes a good Metallica song, what should be included on the list. But again, where do you start with Metallica? How does Metallica come into your world?
For me, it would have been junior high. The Black Album was the very first album I ever heard, especially growing up in, small town Northwest Kansas, where it's not like the radio plays much. The heaviest stuff they had was like, Love Gun by Kiss. That's about as far as it went. But of course, exposure to MTV and things like that, you start listening to like Enter Sandman, Sad But True. Of course, Nothing Else Matters. That was really the introduction for me. And if anything, I was able to convince my dad to buy the same album because I had him listen to like 2 songs from it. And originally, he would hear about Metallica and that they were more kind of a thrash heavy metal band and that it was too much for him. But hearing, The Unforgiven and things like that also, he was like, oh, I didn't realize that they did this. And so he actually bought an album for me and for him. So that was really cool. And then it just kind of grew from there. So I was able to go back through the album list and pick up some of the older albums, but then progress forward with the things that Jason Newsted was on, which he was my favorite bassist. I'm just going to throw it out there right now.
Oh, okay. So we're dividing listeners already.
Yes.
There's a firm camp that loves Cliff Burton. There's a firm camp
reasonable. Yeah.
That loves Robert Trio, the current bassist, who's the longest serving bassist.
Yes, I did like him in Suicidal Tendencies. I was a big fan. Yeah.
Okay.
But the new guy, Newsted, that's my bassist.
It's an interesting entry point to Metallica. I think mine's the same. I think I probably heard Enter Sandman first, but I almost went back immediately. And I remember the first album I got was Kill 'Em All, followed by Ride, and then Puppets, and then the Black Album.
Oh, so you just start bottom up. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have Justice for the longest time, and then I got it as a surprise. Not really a gift, but there was like a really crappy Christmas moment. I was away with family, and my uncle, he was like 28 at the time, and I was like, I don't know, 13 or 14, and I was just not having a good time at all. And he could see it, but he knew how much I love Metallica. We've been talking about Metallica the entire family trip, and he goes, I want you to have this. And he gave me his Justice for All album. And it everything else still sucked, but like from that point on, I could retreat and listen to Injustice for All on my, my CD, my CD player, Walkman, the CD
Discman.
Discman.
Yeah,
That's what it is. My
Discman.
God, again, my
Walkman
memory's
cassette.
gone.
Oh, come
Yeah,
on.
exactly. So that was my entry, and it was the first band I truly fell in love with and had to go down the rabbit hole. No other band had done that quite yet. I loved Guns N' Roses, and I was happy to have Appetite for Destruction and Lies.
Yeah,
This was before Use Your Illusion had come out,
yeah.
and it also on the collecting side, it was like this amazing thing. Like, oh my God, this thing called Binge and Purge, this live box set. It was just like, oh my God, I think I might be able to afford the cassette version if I saved up enough of my allowance doing chores, but I'll never be able to afford to get like the CD version. And then I
Right.
remember one summer working at my grandpa's company who did HVAC. I had just enough cash and we had to do a service call to fix the air conditioning in a pawn shop, and they had Binge and Purge there with the stencil and everything in
Nice.
it. And I bought
Oh
it. I
my
was like,
gosh.
I felt like I'd conquered the world. I'd got one of my holy relics. So even on the collecting side, Metallica has influenced my life, and I can't say that they've stayed with me in recent years the way that they held on to me. I still listen to everything. I listened to a lot of 72 Seasons, their recent album that came out in April, I think, April or
That one
May.
is surprisingly good. They
Okay.
completely lost me on Saint Anger. That's when I bailed. I was out for like 3 albums after that. I'm like, "I'm done." But then I
Yeah.
started listening to a couple things on 72 Seasons, and I really think that the band is kind of back musically for that, but I cannot get over James Hetfield's vocals on it. For me, it's not hitting right still. I feel the
Yeah.
rest of the band is there with the songs, but the vocal quite isn't there for me. So I'm not, giving up completely like I did on Saint Anger. Like I was mad. I was as angry as that damn
The
Tom.
only the
But
only thing that saved me on Saint Anger was the documentary, Some Kind of Monster. That
there you
that
go.
was the way
Okay.
that I could listen to that album. And I should say that Saint Anger, I think when you pre-ordered it or you got it like day one or week one, included a DVD with the band playing it
Yep.
live off the floor. And in
And
that
it's
version,
different.
everything is mixed properly. So it sounds
Yes.
like Metallica. It doesn't sound like the High School Junkie band, playing a pinata for a snare drum.
Yeah, and forgotten to turn on the snare. It was stuck on
Yeah, and
Tom
turn
the
and turn up
entire
the
time.
good. Like, turn up the good Metallica. So, I
Yes.
think I think a lot of people are in that same boat, and then I slowly ease back into things with Death Magnetic. I wasn't totally sold. I'm
Okay.
like, "Okay, they're trying to get heavier again." It feels like they're trying to approach songwriting like they did on Justice, really complicated, long songs,
Right.
individual parts, but it felt like just a faster version of Load and Reload. Take from that what you will.
I
Eh
loved Load and Reload, though,
well, I can't.
and
Okay, this is great because I have lots of stuff planned, and this is exciting to me as well.
okay. Alright, let's
Um,
go.
you want to go? Okay, I want to say hi to Brandon Tater, the toy guy who joined us recently to talk about 80 cinemas in the chat too. Guys, just fire off anything. I'm gonna be flipping back and forth between tabs. Of course, we are talking the ultimate Metallica songs. I have several lists in front of me already. We're gonna start with Rolling Stone's top 50 Metallica songs.
50.
Do you have a prediction, or maybe not a prediction? What has to be in the top 5 for you?
What am I guessing is in their top 5 or what
No,
is
what do
my
you what do you need to be in the top 5? Not
Oh my
guessing what
gosh.
they want, because who cares what they want? What do you need to be in there?
See, and some of mine will be, um, I guess you can guess at it, and others may be a surprise, but it's things that were personal to me, like maybe experiences I was going to and that song hit.
Sure.
Um, but first off is Fade to Black. That is
Okay.
my all-time favorite. The other one that I would say is up there is maybe number 2 is, oh gosh, it's from the Load album.
Until
Um,
It Sleeps, 2 by
no.
4, Ate My Bitch, not Low Man's Lyric,
No, that was right,
Mama
Until It
Said.
Sleeps.
Okay, Until
Until
It
It
Sleeps.
Sleeps. Mama Said was quite a divergent, but it was so good. It was so good. It was a little country, a little twang, which
Yeah.
was interesting, but it was really good.
Mama, they've taught you well.
Right?
I'm
And
gonna
then,
point out the irony of the fact that I'm wearing a Megadeth shirt as well on this
oh,
stream. They're just throwing it
yeah,
out
my
there. We'll talk about
yeah,
that too, I'm sure. So what else?
right.
Until It
Um,
Sleeps, Fade to Black.
oh my gosh.
Give me
Oh,
one more that
sad
needs to
but
be
true.
said but
Bleeding
true.
Me. I loved Bleeding Me. Loved
Ooh,
that song. I don't care what
okay.
people say. I love that
I can
song.
tell by your list that you really don't care what people say.
I don't. I love it.
That's okay. I better see Creeping Death, Master
Okay.
of Puppets,
Yes.
Blackened,
Okay.
Four Horsemen, or Seek and Destroy. I'll take either one. And the last one, I'm gonna go with Battery.
Okay.
You know, I
See, I
like
was going off of what my personal top 5 is,
yeah,
but
these
if
are my
I'm
personal top
guessing.
5. These are my
Oh,
personal.
okay. You're
I'm
more
not.
in line, then yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's okay. It's okay. Brandon, I agree. For Whom the Bell Tolls is definitely like a theme and
So
anthem
good.
of them. I don't think it'll be in the top 5. And as much as I love it, and it was the first song I learned how to play on guitar, there are songs that have just trumped it over time. Tater, quit showing off. We know you've seen Metallica 8 times, and you saw them on the tour with GNR and Faith and More. Yeah, we know you're
You
better
want
than that.
a fun fact about Nathan and I. We didn't
Sure.
meet until I was already 30, right? And so I was supposed to go, or originally was going to go on the Sanitarium tour when they were going through Omaha, Nebraska.
Right.
We were on tour with like Korn and Power Man 5000 and things like that. I was getting ready to graduate high school. And my sister took me to Kansas City to see A Perfect Circle and Nine Inch Nails instead. It was that same weekend.
Yeah.
Nathan was actually at the Omaha one where
Ah.
Jason Newsted actually took over lead vocals because James Hetfield had blown out his voice. But I
Oh,
was
that would
supposed
have
to
been a
be at
wicked
that
show to see.
exact same concert just, 12 years before we met. So I
That'd
thought
be
that was
awesome.
cool.
He's also correcting you, saying you were 29 when you met. I'll let you guys duke that out.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah. We got married when I was in my 30s. I'm sorry, my love.
All right. Nathan, you could have been on the stream. You don't have to do this, You're just gonna plague her. So here we
Yeah,
go.
pretty much.
All
She's a
right.
brat.
Number 50, Saint Anger, Cindy's new favorite song. They
That shouldn't even be on here. That's not a
Rolling Stone is
Metallica
saying
album.
that it should be here. Bob Rock is playing bass on the recording. We'll say quote
Yep.
unquote. I think it was made with like an iPhone 2, that recording, because it wasn't anything fantastic there.
It was not. And okay, in all fairness, I mean, I just read something months ago that even Lars is saying that people need to give it another listen, as in like
No,
the
we
whole
don't.
album.
No, we
But
don't.
he's saying that some of the most well-received songs when they play live are actually from Saint Anger, which I don't know, that sounds like a lot of fluff coming from
That sounds like
him,
people are
but
probably really drunk in the middle of the set, Lars.
ah,
This is like that's the smoke break song. It's like, hey, you guys want to hear something from Saint Anger? Like, yeah, I need a 7-minute smoke break,
sure.
and then they
I
take
think
off.
that's fair. Yeah.
And if you know what, I will say that I like Frantic off Saint Anger, and that's about it, because it's
Okay.
a little bit like Fuel, and it's the closest
I
one to being like
didn't
a
like
good
Fuel.
song. But
That's why
that
I
is it.
did not
That
like
that is
Fuel.
pushing for me to find a song that I really like. Some Kind of
Okay.
Monster was better when it was re-recorded for the soundtrack of the documentary,
Yeah. Yeah.
but the song doesn't really change,
No, it's
so
better is,
shades of gray
yeah,
here. We're talking shades of gray.
exactly.
All
We're
right.
splitting here.
So 50, Saint Anger. 49, The Memory Remains. What do you feel
I
about The Memory
love
Remain?
that. Oh my gosh.
Really?
Yes, I loved it. I actually loved it.
Oh.
And the fact that they got Marianne Faithfull, those lyrics, it was haunting. That was one of the few songs on Reload that I actually liked.
You see,
I loved it.
coming out of Load, I was a little disappointed with Load. I like Load, but it wasn't the Black Album, and it certainly
No,
wasn't the first 4 albums, which I
no.
find Metallica fans are either I like the first 4 albums, I like the
Yes.
first 5 albums, and then that's kind of it. There's no real fans
Yep.
from Load and forward. You usually get in at some other entry point. And so when The
Exactly.
Memory Remains came out, I was hoping for like this awesome, blistering, like hard rock crunching song, not more blues, southern rock, twangy, hypno whiskey filled music. And then, Marianne Faithfull, whatever you think of her, she's obviously a legend, but to have that come in, it was just such a departure. And like,
I
not
thought it was
not a lot of
beautiful.
bands can pull that off.
No.
Metallica is, going to be the trendsetter. Just not for me. Not in a single, Their first single should have been Fuel. and that would have just ripped into things, but memory remains.
Fuel was so expected though, and it felt like just another attempt at some of the things that they had already done, except not as well.
Well,
I
you
did
know,
not like Fuel.
that's how I would describe their career from Load forward.
Okay, okay,
But at least Fuel felt more familiar and more of what I'd hoped to hear. So
okay,
here we go.
yeah,
Here we go. Well, moving on. My Friend of Misery. So a heavy Jason Newsted track, right? Because
that
he's a
was good.
co-writer on this. Do you like
Yes.
My Friend of Misery?
I do. That wasn't one of my absolute favorites. I think it's fitting that it would be in the, you know, lower 48s, but or upper
Really?
48 really. But yeah, it was decent. It's not my favorite Newsted track.
We will see. So I mean, let's just do some quick math in our head, right? So we've got 4 albums. Kill 'Em All has what, 12 songs on it. Ride the Lightning has 8
It's like 8.
songs on it.
Mhm.
Puppets has 8 songs on it. So that's 28 right there. Justice has 12 songs on it, I think.
That
The
sounds
Black
about
Al-
right. I know they went back and
Black
forth with
Album
12
has
and 8 and a lot.
yeah, Black Album has 13. So even before we get past the Black Album, there's more than enough to fill this list of 50. So the
Yes.
question is, do we get anything from Load Reload, Saint Anger, Death Magnetic, Hardwired to Self-Destruct, or 72 Seasons ahead of My Friend in Misery?
I
Because this
have
is a
my
pretty
doubts
good.
that the Magnetic album is gonna be on here. I have my doubts.
You don't think anything from Death Magnetic is going to be
I
on here?
have my doubts.
Okay. That's an album that I probably know the least. I probably couldn't name all the tracks off the top of my head, but we'll find out. To Live is to Die. So there we go. Justice. What do you
That one's
think?
decent. That one's decent, yeah. I mean, that was the very first album that Newsted was on as well.
You couldn't hear
I've
him at all in the mixing.
exactly, he was
Have you
listed
heard
on it,
that?
but that was about it.
Have you gone on YouTube and listened to the remixed version with the bass line brought up?
I've listened to it a bit and it doesn't
Yeah.
hit quite the same because it was that experience of it almost felt like they were in like a metal room. Everything was
Yeah.
very distant when it came to the bass, and
Yeah.
that's what I came accustomed to. So hearing it reworked like that was different. It was good, but it was different.
Here's my favorite comment in the chat so far. Brandon says Death Magnetic was way better than Loaf or
Oh,
Reloaf. Because it is a big soggy piece of bread just bloating you with
I
metal
don't know.
carbs.
Once you get to Saint Anger and then up into the next 3 albums from that, it seemed more self-indulgent, like one of those they may be funner to play than to actually listen to. So that's kind of my thought.
For me, it's just like, okay, there's what I expect from a Metallica song, and then there's what could be a good song. Am I listening to this only because it's Metallica? And even 72 Seasons, I,
Exactly.
I
Yes.
thought, would anybody buy this album if Metallica wasn't on the front cover? That doesn't take away from the songs, but how much is the legacy pushing us to listen to this stuff? Anyways, To
Exactly.
Live and to Die, I do enjoy it. It's an instrumental. What could I say more about it? It's my least favorite track probably on Justice. That's not to say it's not great because every song on that album is good. It's just, I don't know,
Right.
not for me. No Leaf Clover. So here you
I
go
loved it.
from S&M. You
Loved
like it?
it. Yes, the bringing
Oh
in these what was it, San Francisco
yeah,
Symphony
with
Orchestra,
Michael
that
Kamen.
was
Yeah.
gorgeous. It was so surprising, so well done. It was just beautiful.
What's your favorite lyric from No Leaf Clover? Do you know the chorus?
Oh, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly my point. You can't quote that song because you know it's not that good.
Oh my god, I love that song.
Okay, so how's the chorus go?
The light at the end of the tunnel was gorgeous. Those lyrics were beautiful.
Okay. You're off the hook.
You're
You're off
just a freight train. Yeah, come
Okay,
on.
Fuel at
Come on.
45.
No.
Second single off Reloaf. I want to get
See,
a
I
shirt now.
I
I
know
want to
it
get a
was a
shirt that says
really
Reloaf.
so Fuel is my least favorite song off of Reload. I could not.
The only thing I don't like about Fuel is how it's used in almost every sporting event. It is so overplayed. And
Yeah.
and there was a period that it was like in every movie trailer or action sequence.
Yes.
And I'm not a
Yes.
car guy either, and James is really big into like gearhead stuff, so like that kind of grits and grains against me, but
Okay. Okay.
yeah. Yeah. So Fuel. We know how you feel. But Holier Than Thou, 44. Third song
Okay.
off the Black Album. You think 44 is high enough for this song?
I think for Holier Than Thou, that's not one of the top ones off the Black Album, of course, so maybe that one's fitting. There's a lot of songs that are going to be coming up from, like, Master of Puppets and things like that, so
Yeah. I always love to tell people that aren't so hardcore to Metallica that this was originally going to be the lead single off the Black Album. And James infamously says, we thought this was going to be it. And then he wrote the lyrics. And quickly it wasn't going to be the single.
okay,
So
fair.
it's got a killer opening, man.
And then it's a bit of a letdown, but
Yeah, and then
that whole album,
the
though, is
lyrics,
fantastic.
the lyrics, honestly, completely let down that song. But I can't get over the riffs on that. It's just so punchy, so
Exactly,
riffy.
it's still worth a listen, and for me, the Black Album is one of those rare, absolutely perfect albums I can listen to end to
Wow,
end. That
perfect album.
that one, it feels a little bit of a
Pretty
filler,
good.
but I'm not gonna skip it, so
I love the recording quality of the Black Album.
Oh, yeah.
I love the way it's produced.
Isn't that when they switched,
Bob Rock was the producer
yeah,
of that one, yeah.
exactly, they had switched it up.
Yeah. Sorry, the tab crashed on us. I had to reload it here.
Haha, get it, reload it.
Yeah, I had to reloaf it.
Wah wah.
I need to add some more fuel to the Chrome.
Oh, dear God.
Phantom Lord at 43. So off Kill 'Em All, one of the Mustaine credited tracks. Bow to your Phantom Lord. This feels about right. I put it up there with it's better than Holier Than Thou. It's better than Fuel. It's better than everything else we've seen. Certainly better than No
the one
Leaf
from
Clover.
Saint Anger. Oh my God, you did not. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought we were gonna get along, but evidently this is gonna be a tension stream.
We have 42 more songs to go. All Within My Hands, the acoustic version. So Saint Anger.
I have not heard that one. I mean, granted, that was the first of the Metallica albums I did not buy. So, maybe I'm missing out. Okay.
Well, it's from
I'll have to
Saint
listen.
Anger, and they re-recorded it. That says here, years later, Metallica rejiggered it as a dusty campfire song for their Helping Hands live in acoustic at the Masonic, and is an S&M2. I got to tell you, I didn't like the first one all that much. I can't imagine stripping it down even more makes it that much better.
So, I think that's fair. Yeah. So maybe that is the right spot. We'll see.
Yeah, we're getting lots of comments in the chat from Brandon. He's not afraid to sound off here. Tater is playing jokes from the last room. Lost Boys is better. Kill 'Em All is such an amazing record. You are not wrong. It stands up. It's one of those albums where I wish the production quality was better, but I also appreciate it sounding like it does because it sounds so early 80s metal.
Well, Metallica were really the pioneers of whatever category the 80s wanted to put them in. They, the kind of cliche of too punk for metal and too metal for punk. So that was kind of that quintessential niche sound. So you can't have Metallica without having that really drudgy album.
Here you go, 41, Until It Sleeps.
Okay, now I'm good.
Yeah, you happy? Do you think Until It Sleeps is better than Phantom Lord, though? You said this was supposed to be top 5.
Yes.
You said this was supposed to be top 5, and they're putting it at 41. Well,
for me, I can understand why other people wouldn't, but for me,
why are they getting this so wrong?
Oh my gosh, because they're not me. Just saying.
I like the song, but it's 41. I would maybe
put it in the
30s. I'd maybe put it in the 30s. No, there are definitely 20 songs better, 30 songs better than Until It Sleeps. This might be the perfect spot for it. We'll find out.
No, I put it like 24, 25. Like if I were looking across all of the catalog and it's not just my input, I would put it in the 20s.
Okay. Anesthesia, Pulling Teeth. Bass solo, take 1. What do you think of this?
Are you waiting for the bassist to kick in? You need Cliff Burton. No, it was good. Very, very good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
better than
I
Until It
wasn't
Sleeps.
expecting 40 for this list. Yes, for my
I'm
personal
surprised
list,
it's on the
no.
list. I'm surprised it's on the list.
Really?
It would not be a track that I put on the list. I
Okay.
don't think of the top 50 songs. It's good, but it's kind of just like Cliff and a little bit of Lars at the end, so it doesn't feel like a Metallica song, right? I love it. I've used it in many school presentations talking about music and emphasizing different things because it's
But
instrumental. It's all up to interpretation,
it
but I
does
wouldn't
show
put it in the
some of
top
the
50.
it does show some of the best of Cliff, though, and
Sure,
you
but
only
it's
had
not.
him for,
It's for
like,
the same
3
reason I would
albums.
never put any track that's just Kirk playing a solo or just Lars doing a drum fill or like Kiss's track "Car Jam" on the album "Revenge." Right? It's just a drum solo and some guitars
Right.
at the end. I wouldn't put that in the greatest Kiss songs. It's a good song, but when we're talking about the top songs, I just wouldn't put it there.
Fair enough.
Oh, I'm glad I won you over. I didn't think I would. That's
No,
good.
there's no winning. I'm just
You're
sure.
just silencing me.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm used to this treatment. Through the Never, 39.
Yes. Yeah.
Twisting, turning through the never.
Again, upper 30s. It's a song from the Black Album. Really good. Not one of the
I
best off
I
the
would
Black
put this
Album, but it's there.
I
Yeah.
would put this in like the 20s. I go back and
Really?
forth in my brain which I like better, Through the Never or Of Wolf and Man, because they're
Of
just
Wolfman. Oh, come on. Yeah. Of Wolfen Man.
oh
Yeah.
well. That doesn't surprise me that you love Of Wolf and Man, given your love for monsters, right? Like that should be like your theme song. If you were a wrestler, Cindy, and you had to go to the ring and have a theme song, it's Cindy. Yeah,
Just like
exactly.
that.
Hit the Lights at 38. So the one that kind of started it all, the big, big, big song that begins Kill 'Em All. They played at shows forever and then brought back as part of their Kill 'Em All ride medley for a while in the 90s. And they're playing it in its entirety these days. Is at 38. Is this high enough for Hit the Lights or is it perfect?
I think for that one, uh, I'm not sure. But I mean, upper 30s like that, you would assume it would be maybe low or high 20s. Keep on getting low and high since we're scrolling differently.
Yeah.
But but yeah, I was thinking, 28, 29. We'll see.
I'm almost tempted to put any song from Kill 'Em All, Master Puppets, Ride the Lightning, or Justice in the top 30. They don't all
That's
fit, but I'm almost tempted to do
right.
that.
Yeah.
Right? So I would say 30 for this. It's better than everything that's come before it. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
better than everything that's come before it. Okay.
In our list so far.
Okay.
I think so. The
You
shortest
can be
straw.
wrong. It's okay.
We can disagree.
Yes.
The shortest straw, 37. Probably the lowest track off Justice other than To Live Is to Die. I think that'll appear on this list.
Yeah. No, I think this might be about right.
Yeah. I think it's a great song. I think it's the shortest running song on Injustice for all. I see it used often in football games for highlight packages.
Oh,
because it's
lots of fanfare. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. We agree on that. Motor Breath. Oh, what a classic track.
Come on.
What do you think? 36. I feels too low. This is such a good song. And something that's not a single, but like would become characteristic of Metallica's deep cut fan favorites without having to have the spotlight of a music video. Just something that grabs you, that makes you want to jump around and like share your energy with the world and explode.
But
36 is way too low.
wouldn't you think that's why it's in the mid 30s though? Is that it
On a
is kind
list
of
of
a deep
50,
cut, like you go down the
no,
rabbit hole
no,
and
no,
you
no, no, no,
find
no.
it?
Nope. Because
Just saying.
on a list of 50, this should be at 25
Oh,
or closer to 1, I think. This kind of track. That's
closer
what I
to
think.
one. Okay.
The thing I've learned with these lists is, okay, it's like, hey, what number are we looking at? If it's a list of 50 or a list of 100, what is that midpoint entry that makes the most sense to you? And then how do you divide each half? That's kind of where my brain has started to go with this stuff. So I put Motor Breath,
The bucket in
firmly,
25 is okay.
yeah, firmly, at 25 plus or minus 3 kind of thing.
Okay.
That's how I'm handling this stuff. So here we go. Let's scooch on here. Orion, although I have a lot of friends that call it Orion still at 35.
Orion.
Yeah. What do you think?
Um, I mean, for me, I really liked Orion. Yeah,
Hmm.
I think it had a lot of pieces that are very quintessential early Metallica, which is
Yep,
excellent. I mean, Burton, of course, was a shiner, but I'm not sure about 35. I would have put it in the 20s.
I agree. 100%. I agree.
Mm.
Maybe even top 20, like in the
Yeah,
teens somewhere.
yeah. I was
Because
thinking,
it's,
at 20s like 21, 22, not low.
yeah, it's
I
such
don't
a
know.
good song that it's not like an instrumental that you get lost in. Like every part of it is so
Yeah,
meticulously and well crafted and just flows effortlessly from one part to the
yes.
other. And
Yeah.
as a musician, it's really fun to jam on too.
I can
And all
see
those
that. Yeah.
individual parts, man. Yeah, I'm having too
Just
much
like
fun.
that. Just like
Just
that.
like that. Just it sounds just like that.
Oh, hardwired.
Hardwired to self-destruct. This is above all those other songs. I just want everybody to take a breath, go get a Xanax.
Who made this list? Like where where's this?
Wish.com made the list according to some of our viewers. Hardwired to
Um,
self-destruct is better than Orion, is better than Shortest Straw, is better than somehow better than No Leaf Clover. Um,
better than Until It Sleeps. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
yeah, it might
Mm-mm.
be.
No.
You know, it's about No Leaf Clover.
No.
I for no leaf clover, I always think of that tuna when I think of that. Isn't there like a Clover brand can of tuna?
I don't know that brand.
Maybe it's a Canadian thing.
Yeah, you Canadians
And
are
it
weird
just
with
like
your
I
tuna.
don't like tuna. I don't eat seafood at all. So when I just think of that song, I just feel like somebody's opening up a can of tuna and it just stinks up the whole town.
I loved it. It was beautiful.
Cloverleaf tuna, Brandon saying. Here we go. He agrees.
Cloverleaf
Absolutely.
tuna.
That's the name of the brand, so it works perfectly. Hardwired to self-destruct. Look at it; it's outperforming itself. Sydney and I both agree, which is a rare thing. So, take note. Take note. Leper Messiah at 33. Again, I feel like this should be 25 plus or minus 3 somewhere in there, right around the Motor Breath vibe of things.
Yeah. I mean, it was a bit of a departure in sound, I think, for them, but yeah, I'm not sure about this mid-30s nonsense.
I don't know that it's much of a departure in sound. It has that crunchy, bouncy, slow,
That's true. I
chunky
felt the
vibe. It's a
lyrics
little bit like Shortest
like
Straw.
right. I just feel that James Hetfield's vocals on those, he was a little bit different. But
Okay.
he's gone through like three or four phases of how his vocals sound. So
Hmm.
at least.
One of my favorite lesser known facts about Leper Messiah is that Dave Mustaine claims to have been denied a writing credit on it. He says he originally wrote that riff for it, bow, 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 I don't know, but James could never play it right, apparently. And so the song uses James's version, and
Interesting.
Mustaine just never went back to sue them or anything like that. I guess he just let it go, which seems
Because he's
un
noted for letting things go,
I was gonna say,
right?
which seems typically on Dave Mustaine from what I've read and what I understand, but what do I know? Maybe both accounts are completely fictitious. Not likely. Ride the Lightning at 32. Okay, now we know we're in the Wish.com era.
In the
And maybe it's because I
30s?
just mentioned Mustaine. Here's another track where he gets, a writing credit on, but my goodness, I don't know about 32. This has got to
No.
be in top 10 for me.
I was gonna say teens. Yeah. I was gonna say 15 and up, but,
Tater the Toy Guy
30s.
saying 32? Okay, someone was smoking crack writing this list. Ride the Lightning should be top 10. Brandon's chiming in with what? Robbery. I agree. I have lost all confidence and faith at this point going forward. We're not even halfway through the list. I'm gonna go on this end.
I don't know about the
Oh,
30s.
oh, we have some Mustaine talk here. This is my favorite sub narrative that we're dealing with, the Megadeth Mustaine Metallica thing here. Metallica borrowed the title "Ride the Lightning" about a possessed death row inmate from Stephen King's The Stand, and a few riffs for the song from one of founding lead guitarist Dave Mustaine's leftover riff tapes, which surprised the guitarist when he was forming Megadeth. There are certain riffs that you hear and you just know who the songwriter is, he said. He credits the squealy intro and outro to Ulrich and claims most of the rest of the riffs for himself. I think they did great with it. I got over them using my songs a long time ago. You can't obsess on shoot like that. You got to let it go, and nothing is going to change it. I got to edit myself so we don't get
Is
the YouTube
is
flag.
that his PR manager speaking through him, or is that
Yeah,
him?
probably, probably.
Just
And here
saying.
we have Eye of the Beholder at 31. Brandon said
31?
that this should be in the top 3, I think.
Top 3. Okay.
That's what Brandon
I was
said
thinking
in the
top
chat.
10. I was thinking top 10.
I'd put this in the teens. Again, it's not my favorite track off of Justice. It's probably in the second. Like if I was to divide Justice in half, it would be on the lower half of stuff that I like.
Okay.
But it's a great track. It's a great track to follow up the title album track Justice and get you ready for one before one kicks in.
Right. Right.
But if I had to like pick and choose, like, because nowadays when we listen to music, it's almost like the 60s where we listen to singles, right, Cindy? We don't ever listen to albums anymore as a full front to back experience, heaven forbid.
It breaks my heart.
I
Yeah.
know. Tater's saying, this is my favorite song. It should be lower. Well, welcome to
That's your favorite? I
wish.com.
didn't know that was his favorite. Now I
Yeah.
know.
Knowing's half the battle. Oh, here you go.
Or was it favorite song from that album?
No,
Maybe
favorite
that's
song, I think. I think it's his favorite song. Here you go. Come carpe diem, baby.
I don't know about 30.
I can say quite handily that Carpe Diem Baby is not better than Ride the Lightning. Do I have to say
I'm
anything else? And
I'm
Tater is
just saying that I'm
clarifying.
removing all time. Okay. I'm learning things about
Yeah,
my husband.
yeah.
Okay.
Carpe Diem is better than Until It Sleeps. It's better than Tuna Leaf Clover. It's better than Ride the Lightning. It's better than Pulling
I don't know
Teeth.
about 30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're drunk,
No.
wish.com, go home. Stone Cold Crazy, the Queen cover song is 29. I didn't think we would have to be including stuff like this, but so be it. I guess all
I
the cover songs from Garage Inc. are up for inclusion as well. So be it.
Wow. Okay.
This doesn't
Yeah.
make my list at all. This should be completely extracted, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And no, I'm not going to go back. I can't face the sanity of trying to discuss Carpe Diem Baby at 30. So I decided I had to move on.
You're like skipping on.
And you know what? Just like, okay, 29, Stone Cold Crazy, and Dope. Call of Cthulhu, 28. It's my favorite instrumental from the band, without question.
It is gorgeous. Yeah.
So I would say it's got to be between 19 and number 1, somewhere in there. But not 28. You know,
Maybe 15. Yeah, I'm with you.
15 plus or
Top
minus 3.
20.
15
Plus
plus
or
or
minus
minus 3. That's
Okay.
how I'll roll that. Tater saying, I hate internet lists. They all have traumatic brain injuries. You're not wrong. Brandon agrees with me. Stone Cold Crazy is a cover song, so no. Okay, good. We're all on the same page here. We're in this together, crew. We're in this together. Four Horsemen at 27. Again, another Mustaine song.
I can see it in the 20s. Okay.
Yeah, I guess. In the 20s. I kind of would like to see it between 20 and 25, if not in the teens. It's just such an amazing song that
I don't
it's
know if
hard.
it would be
It's
top
hard to put a
25 for
number
me.
on it. It's hard to
I
put a
don't
number on it.
know.
Fight Fire with Fire at 26. That feels about right. That feels like the Motor
I was
Breath,
gonna
Leper
say,
Messiah stuff.
yeah, I was gonna be like, oh, that should be top 25, but I mean, it's only one below
Yeah,
top
again,
25.
plus or
So
minus 3. I got to have some margin for error in things that I haven't considered because I haven't tried to build a list. I'm just taking someone else's,
right.
well organized time and criticizing the crap out of it at every
Are you
possible.
sure they just didn't put in a spreadsheet and hit shuffle? Because
They
I'm
probably
feeling
just would chat GPT best Metallica songs.
pretty much.
Brandon saying Fight Fire with Fire should be about 30. Okay. Justice for All at 25. Not sure about that one.
Okay. I mean, entering 25. Okay.
Yeah. And then Thing That Should Not Be at 24. Oh, again, that's that
Oh.
like deep cut, awesome, sludgy. This should be like 12, if you ask me, if not top 10. It's their only drop D song, I think. At least it was up until Saint Anger.
No, I'd put it. Yeah, I'd put it between the 15s and 20s.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure
Okay.
about 24.
That's fine. We're getting there, sort of.
We're closing the gap just a little bit.
The God That Failed is now better than Ride the Lightning, folks. Follow the God that failed, like this list. This list. I don't know about this list. I mean, I like the God that failed a lot, but it is not better than several of the tracks that we've seen before, including Leper
Yeah.
Messiah, including Call of Cthulhu, including
Until
uh,
it sleeps.
including Thing That Should
Until it
Not
sleeps.
Be. Am I Evil? Another cover song.
No, that
We're gonna
shouldn't.
move
No.
on from it. We're not even gonna discuss that. It's
Thank
is
you.
Blitzkrieg in here? Because I like Blitzkrieg better than Am I Evil. Just throwing it out there. Sanitarium 21.
Only 21. Oh, no, 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 no.
Yeah.
No.
This has got to
Top
be
10. Top
I was
10.
gonna say top 12 for sure, because I'm trying to give myself a little margin of error because we keep putting stuff in the top 12. So
Well, my 12 has like 0.5 intervals evidently because I keep stacking it.
Tater saying that Sanitarium should be number one just because I where I am in life. Ha 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 ha. Although I think that laugh is supposed to mimic the Joker's laugh of lunacy. We'll see. We'll see. There we go.
Man, 21.
Harvester of Sorrow at 20. Maybe my favorite song off Justice. That and Black and go back and forth.
Yeah,
This feels about
I would
right.
say I would say top 10 on Harvester of Sorrow. Like
Top 10 on
honestly.
Harvester.
Yes.
Language of the Mad. Language of the Mad. I kind of like where it is only because there's so many songs that we've passed that should be in the top 20 that it's not. So I'm trying to balance out a bunch of things. Tuna Leaf Clover and until it slept is not still. Spit Out the Bone. What do you think about this? This is from Hardwired to Self-Destruct.
I was gonna say I don't know this song.
Yeah.
That would explain why
I'm
though,
good.
because I bailed.
It's not better than Ride the Lightning. Do I have to keep going back to say that? Because I don't think I need to say anything more than that to justify my feelings on it.
No. As I said, I don't think that this should be on the list, as in
No,
the album. But
all
that's okay.
this is doing with this on the list is it's piquing my interest to go back and listen to it. And when I do, I'll have to be in one of those quiet rooms, those raid rooms,
I was
where
gonna
I can
say
just
you're gonna be so frustrated.
where I'm gonna have to like be in a room full of like plates that I'm allowed to break that soundproof so nobody else can hear my tears and anger, my saint anger.
Oh God.
Yeah, there we go. The Unforgiven at 18.
Only 18?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, right? Because it's like,
Top
where
5.
else do you put it, right?
Top
And
5.
and so
That's where you put it.
the question is, are we going to see the Unforgiven 2 or the Unforgiven 3 ahead of the Unforgiven?
I
I'm
actually love The
curious.
Unforgiven too. It was a different take on
'Cause
it.
you're
I can't say I love it more, but
unforgiven
I do love it.
too.
I thought it was beautiful.
It just
It
feels
was
like
so
a wink
beautiful.
at the camera. You're Unforgiven 2.
I thought it was good.
Yeah, okay.
But no, this should not be 18. This is like 4.
Dyer's Eve 17. Love it. It's a really great track. I would put it at 15 plus or minus a
Okay.
few. Thoughts on Dyer's
Okay.
Eve? Okay. All right. Jump of the Fire 16.
16?
Now again, I like Ride the Lightning better, but Jump in the Fire definitely belongs to be, at 16 for sure.
See, it'd be like 20s for me. That's not one of my favorite ones off there, but that's okay.
Again, a Mustaine
I
track.
know. Maybe that's why I really don't like Dave Mustaine. I
I
couldn't
can
get into
tell.
any Megadeth. Just no,
Really? Because the funny
not
thing
good.
is, Countdown to Extinction comes out a year after the Black Album. It has the same kind of short, radio-friendly kind of songs. Load comes out, and then they release Cryptic Writings, which again is a little bit of a departure, but it's a little bit like Countdown and Euthanasia still, which is like more the same stuff. I just find Megadeth from Countdown on has been a more consistent, heavier band than what we've got from Metallica.
Heavier, but I don't like the songwriting.
Oh, the songwriting's much better. If you listen from Countdown on compared to Metallica, I mean, even if you were to say Metallica's Saint Anger on, give yourself your Loaf albums.
Oh God.
Then you would be blown away. Like, have you heard
I don't
Dystopia
like
by Megadeth, that album that they won the Grammy for?
I don't like Megadeth. I don't like the sound of his voice. I don't like essentially anything from Megadeth.
I can tell.
I just don't.
You got to listen to Dystopia. It's
Okay,
great.
for you, I'll listen to it.
this is my favorite. Brandon's just like the Pied Piper led rats through the streets.
Hated that. Hated
Tater.
that.
Dave Mustang is not a good person, so screw Mega Dave. Oh, Megadeth. Dance like
Yep,
the
Mega
marionette.
Dave.
Come on, dude. Megadeth wasn't Metallica, but dude, man, no, Megadeth wasn't Metallica. I like Megadeth a lot, and like I said, from Countdown on, they are the better band, without question. I'll still show up for every Metallica release and throw it in the bin if it belongs there. Blacken belongs in the top 10 without question.
Yeah, 15's too
top
low.
5, like I said, this is up there for me.
Yeah.
So, and Jason gets a co-writing credit on it, though you can't hear his bass.
Right.
He's on it.
Right.
Nothing else matters at 14. I wondered when this was going to squeak in there.
14? No, 3. Flat out.
You know, when a song gets covered as much as Nothing Else Matters seems to have been covered, it's hard to really kind of place it. Again, is it a quintessential Metallica track? It's a big song for them. A huge radio-friendly grade 8 slow dancing song. You know, right up there with like Don't Cry and Estranged in November Rain. I don't know. Top 20, sure. I don't know about 14.
3.
Okay, disagree. Whiplash, 13. How do you feel about Whiplash being at 13?
I think that's about right. I
could see it slide down anywhere in the teens as long as it's in the teens.
Fair. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Brandon thought that Rolling Stone was going to make Nothing Else Matters number 1. So who knows what's going to happen?
That's Enter Sandman, according to this list.
No, I think Enter
overplayed.
Sandman, I think Enter Sandman will be like number 4, and people will be like, "Oh, what's number 1?"
You think?
It'll be like a clickbait headline. Enter Sandman was number 4 on the greatest Metallica songs, but what's number 1? You won't believe number 8. Damage Inc. at 12.
Absolutely not.
Go on.
Well, I mean, that should be in like 20s or 30s. That's not.
Are you kidding me?
I don't like Damage Inc. that much. Compared to everything else that's upcoming, I'm assuming upcoming because they have not put it on there. No.
You don't like Damage Inc. off Master of Puppets?
I mean, it's good, but it's not top, 12 for me.
When I formed my film production company, I so badly wanted to call it Damage Incorporated.
See, that would be fun.
Just because of that little whisper part in the song.
So where does this go on your list then? Because for me, it's not top 12. I mean, you can put it in 21, whatever, but not 12.
I would say put it at 20 plus or minus 2.
Okay. So we're in there together with all your, griping at me about my list.
Ride the Lightning's better. Seek and Destroy at 11. This is going to piss a lot of people off because this is such a quintessential Metallica anthem, right? Right up there with For Whom the Bell Tolls. Yeah, right up there with
top
Master
5,
Puppets.
Easily top 10, no matter whose list it is, except this guy's, evidently.
What is going on with this? Brandon's loving my clickbait formula. I appreciate that. I've seen a few clickbait headlines. I have clicked on most of them. They work. All right, back to the list. My browser's taking a long time to load. Wherever I May Roam at 10.
That's above Seek and Destroy. Okay.
It's
still good, but
I put it in 10.
It
but again,
10.
Seek and Destroy, Ride the Lightning, Blackened. All songs that are better.
I do 15. We'll say 15. It's still really good.
I don't want to commit to a number on this one, but it's got to be the high teens, like 15 to 19. Just by virtue of how many other great songs there are.
Agreed. On.
Disposable Heroes at 9.
No.
I don't know that I'd put it this high.
No, again, exactly. No, 20s.
Early 20s, sure. 15 to 20, maybe. We're getting some lyric shout-outs by Brandon. No man, call me what you will. Oh, yeah, this list it's going off the rails again. Just as we got things organized.
Did we though?
We did. There was a few that were like, okay, I'll let it slide. Fade to Black at 8. Okay, I'm just gonna let you take over the mic. And time to pop a Xanax and have a cup of coffee. One up or one down?
1 or 2. That is the only acceptable answers for Fade to Black. 1 or 2.
Apparently, number 8 is
I'm
also a
harnessing my
solution.
chi. It is not. It is not.
Tater. I'm telling you, the creators are stoned, or something is majority wrong with them. I'm guessing you meant to say majorly wrong with them, but given your preface to the statement, I
Majority
love
wrong.
is majority wrong with them.
Yeah.
I love
No. Acceptable answers 1 or 2.
Move on, list. You're drunk. Go home. Brandon says top 5 song is fair for Fade to Black. Okay. All right. Number 7, Enter Sandman. See, I told you it wasn't going to be number 1. I told you to be like 4 or something.
This one should be
wacky.
top 5 just
No, it
because
should
of
not.
how this is like the gateway song for anybody who ends up liking any Metallica whatsoever. This is like the one
Not
that's played
true.
on the radio the
Maybe
most.
in the
To
90s, I
me,
would
this
say
is the
that.
gateway.
Now I
Yes.
would say that people have a gateway song for Metallica. It's probably Master of Puppets.
Okay, before Stranger Things.
Well, we're
This
not
would have been
talking
it.
before Stranger Things.
I am saying, but no, that definitely is,
This
cross
loses points with how many
generations.
times
That
it's
is the
been
ggate
played.
song.
How many times this song is on the radio, was on MTV? It is now
But
losing
why
points
was it
with
played so
everything.
much? Why?
Because people missed tuning in the first time, I suppose. I don't know.
It was amazing. It was so
But
good.
it is not better than Ride the Lightning.
No, but I don't agree with that placement. So we're going to pretend that Ride the Lightning is like number 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm waiting for my tabs to let me switch back over. It may be frozen. Okay. Let me switch. Tater is typing angrily. Okay. Here we go. Scrolling on. I don't know if I can handle the top 6. Are you ready for it? If the browser lets me go back over to the other.
I'm just waiting
tab.
to see where they're putting Master of Puppets because, I mean, Stranger Things did give that a whole new breath of light. So I'm betting they have it at 1 or 2. I'm just waiting for it to pop.
All right. For Whom the Bell Tolls at 6. Top 10 for sure. Top 12.
4.
Number 4.
3 or 4. 3 or 4.
3 or 4. Oh,
3 or 4.
God. 5. Battery. Okay, so I claimed Battery at the top 5 for sure.
Okay.
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 1 is number 4.
Oh. Well, I mean, you are top 5 now. I keep on thinking we're lower in the list. Upper in the list. Whatever.
And you can see the browser's glitching out on me already. I'm going to try to reload it and see what happens.
There's a lot of reloading on this stream.
It's a lot of loafing.
You have to reloaf.
Oh, I looked at it. Okay, here we go. Battery. It's going to let me advance. Okay, Sad But True, number 3. Oh,
I love that song.
yeah, but they're saying
Okay.
it's better than Wherever I May Roam, which it is not. They're saying it's better than
It's top 5.
Understand Man.
Which
No,
it's
it's not.
No, but it is top 5.
Sad But
I
True is
agree,
not
top
top 5.
It is. Quiet down.
No, it's not.
Top 5.
No, it's not. It's been covered by Kid Rock, therefore it's like in the 40s.
He doesn't count. He doesn't count. The guy who can't even pronounce ba with the ba. What is that?
I don't know.
I need him to go away.
Look at this.
Creeping Death. Okay.
Number 2.
Okay. I mean, I don't know about number 2, but
What does that leave number 1? What do we think? Is it going to be I Disappear?
No. It
Is it
better
going to
be.
Is it going to be The House That Jack Built, or Low Man's Lyric, or
That
Devil's
one's beautiful,
Dance?
though. Those are beautiful, but they're not number 1 songs. I'm betting it's going to be Master of Puppets.
You think it's going to be Puppets? Are you sure it's not going to be what other great loaf songs are there? King Nothing,
I
number
do love
1,
that.
Rolling Stone.
Oh God, not number 1, but that is a really good, undeniable.
Do you know why you love that song so much, though? Because it's the exact same structure as Enter Sandman, and that's why at the end they even say "Often, Never, Neverland." Because Metallica knows they're phoning it in at that point.
It was good. You're just bitter about the Loaf albums.
No, you're bitter. So Brandon, 1 was number 4, or was ranked number 4. He was saying he thought one should be number 1.
1 would be 1.
Master of Puppets, number 1, of course, the biggest song that hasn't been mentioned. So Now riding a new wave of appreciation thanks to Stranger Things, this 8.5 minute epic title track from the band's third album is the quintessential Metallica track. The song you'd spin for somebody if you only had one chance to illustrate their enduring brilliance. Kicking off in classic metal up your ass thrash mode, Master of Puppets densely layers furious guitars over a whiplash rhythm section, while Hetfield howls about the dangers of addiction. Throw in a mournful interlude with gorgeously melodic guitars, solos, a vicious rave up highlighted by a particularly unhinged Hammett lead, and tons of old meter shifts, and it's no wonder Cliff Burton called it the best Metallica song yet, back in '86. That's the countdown.
I mean, it was really good. And I am, you do have to give appreciation to what Stranger Things did do for that song and for Metallica, that you have this whole generation that's able to hear that song again for the first time, which, I mean, nothing really topped hitting a song like that, back in our day. But
I thought it was pretty
to be
cool
number one,
too that the actor trained with Metallica to do it,
yes,
and then
so
Metallica
cool.
was so blown away by how it was embraced that they covered it wearing the Hellfire Club shirts.
Yes,
That was
that
cool.
was awesome. No, the true appreciation there. That was just awesome.
So the last thing I wanted to show you, I do have a. You want to do another quick list to see how it compares? Let's do another quick list, a top 20 list.
I was gonna say if it's a shorter list, or we can just
Yeah,
look at like the
the
top
subsequent lists are
50.
always much quicker. Always much quicker. So let me throw this up here to see just how out to lunch that is. So they've got Spit Out the Bone at 20, which I think this one had it at like 15, right? So it's not that far off.
Yeah,
And the
I
Sad
don't
But
know
True
that.
at 19. That feels
Oh,
better. Welcome Home, Sanitarium at 18. Again, we'd like it higher. Four Horsemen feels
okay.
better at 17. Enter Salmon at 16. I like this list much better. Seek and Destroy at 15. It's getting
Okay.
drunk. This is like a working lunch where you've had a few martinis. You're getting tipsy. Ride the Lightning at 14. It's much higher, but I think you're
But
still
it's
a
still
little
not
drunk.
right. Yeah.
No, see, and it's better than Orion, right?
Yeah.
Blackened at 12. Okay, so
Okay.
far so good. Outlaw Torn at 11.
That wasn't even on the other
You see,
one.
you were having a good time at your lunch. You had a martini. You thought, why don't I do a couple shots before I go back to work, before I finish this list? And then you get something like the Outlaw Torn from Loaf at 90, at 11. No. Harvester of Sorrow at 10. You loving this already?
Okay. 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 It's not
Brandon
jabbing
saying,
me in the back as much as the other one, but
glad I
ah,
canceled my subscription to Rolling Stone in 92 the same time as my
a
Columbia House
Columbia House.
deal.
Oh, Columbia House.
Kerrang is dead to me now. This is Kerrang's list, by the way, everybody. So we went Rolling Stone, then we went Kerrang, because Kerrang knows metal, right? Just in case. So Harvester of Sorrow at 10. Here we go. The Unforgiven at 9. You wanted it to be top 10, so
Top
there you
10.
go. Fade to Black at 8. Again, number 8.
One or two are the only
Yeah.
options.
Whiplash at 7. Again, ranked ahead of Fade to Black. Nothing Else Matters at 6.
Okay. Okay.
Battery at 5. I can deal with that. From the Bell Tolls at 4. I can deal with
Okay.
that. 1 at 3. I don't like
Okay.
that song as much, but I get it. Master
Yes.
Puppets at 2. So what's going to be
What's
number
number
1
one?
then? It's got to be Seek and Destroy. Creeping Death.
That
That
was
song,
surprising.
I don't even think that song made the other list.
It was on there.
It was on there?
Yeah, it was in the top, oh gosh, top 8? Is that right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember it
But
being
yeah, I
that
don't
high.
know about that being number 1.
No.
It was really good.
Okay. Last thing I'm gonna to round it out, I want to show you the discography and the chart topping thing. So I don't know if you guys can you see my cursor, Cindy?
I
My
can.
mouse.
Mhm.
So in these two columns here, this is US overall and this is US main rock streaming charts where things hit. Okay. So Master of Puppets is a song 35 overall and 18.
18.
It charted there. Nothing for Harvester of Sorrow, Eye of Beholder. One charted at 35 and 46. So Master of Puppets still their number one. Enter Sandman doesn't hit number one at all in the US. It does in Germany,
Wow.
which is right here, but it only gets to 16 and 10.
And
It's a
10.
top 10
Okay.
song. That's it. Same with Unforgiven. Same with Nothing Else Matters, which blows my mind because I would have thought for
It's
sure
insane.
Enter Sandman was number one and Nothing Else Matters, but it wasn't. Wherever My Roam 14, Sad But True 48. Until It Sleeps, though, hits number one in the US. Their first number
Okay.
one song. Same with
It was
Hero of
so
the
good.
Day.
Oh, that was so good.
Mama Said doesn't chart, but King Nothing gets up to number 6. Memory Remains goes to 3. The Unforgiven 2 goes to 2. Fuel goes to
That's good.
6. Turn the Page goes to 1. Whiskey in
That
the
was a good
Jar.
cover. I prefer
Yeah,
Bob Seger, but that's okay.
I like both Whiskey in the Jar and Turn the Page Metallica versions better. Whiskey in the Jar goes to 4. Die My Darling, 26. Misfits Track. No Tuna Leaf Clover. It actually ended up at 1. I
Uh-huh.
Disappear, which I thought for sure we'd see on that list, thanks to the Mission Impossible 2 soundtrack, was
That was
number
okay.
1. Saint Anger, all the way up to number 2. Look at that. Number 2. Not good
They
enough.
forgot to double the 2. It was 22,
No,
not 2.
no, not good enough to,
Yeah,
to get to 1, but Saint Anger was good enough to get to 2. Frantic, Unnamed
absolutely not.
Feeling, some kind of The Day That Never Comes off Death Magnetic hits number 1. Cyanide goes to number 1. All Nightmare Long. Hardwired to Self Destruct goes to number 1. Same with Atlas Rise. Do you remember Atlas Rise? I
No,
remember
what
that
is
song more than Spit Out the Bone.
that? Okay.
Atlas Rise. That's probably not helping you at all. Lux Eterna goes to 1. 72
Oh, I
Seasons
don't
goes
like
to
that.
1. Too Far Gone goes to 1. Screaming Suicide only goes to 40. So I think it's fair to say that some of these choices, especially from Loaf on, are influenced by some of these chart topping positions.
I would say so. Yeah.
But I think any like lifelong Metallica fan would look at that and say, how is that none of that other stuff charted at all? And yet everything that we generally don't hold in the highest esteem, good songs, but not great Metallica songs, not like a
Right.
quintessential Metallica song overall. So again, I like to
No,
have
I
some
agree.
sort of, statistical analysis where you take the emotion out to kind of see where things are. And that's the
Right.
closest I thought would be good for us.
No,
So,
that was good. Yeah.
and any overall thoughts as we wrap this up, Cindy?
No,
What have you learned
I don't like
today?
list makers. They're full of bunk. Just saying. Just
Any
saying.
are you gonna go listen to Metallica today?
I still have my Bible from high school through grad school where I still actually bought discs. Now it's mostly stream. I'm terrible. But yeah, I may pull some of those out. We'll see.
I think you should listen to Megadeth instead.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Not
If I send you
happening.
one song, will you listen to it?
I
It
listen to it, but
it
I'm
won't
not
be
going to be
instrumental.
like, "Oh my god, it's this epiphany." No,
Uh,
not happening.
I'm not
It's
gonna waste your time then. You're not even willing to give it a fair shot.
I
I'm
am.
not
I will
no, you're not.
always give all music a fair shot,
Okay, I want you
but
to
I
listen to the
have
album
yet to
Dystopia
hear
then.
anything. The whole
I want
album?
the whole album. Would you do that for
Mr.
me?
McCallum.
Yeah.
I'll listen to it, and I'll
Okay.
give you honest feedback, but I'm not gonna be
Okay.
like, "Oh my
Other
god,
than you
it's
don't like his
amazing."
voice, because I know that'll be part of it.
It is. He sounds like
Okay.
he's singing out his nose.
Yeah.
I don't like it. He's
Have you heard his
pompous.
cover of My Sweet Lord?
Oh god. My sweet lord.
Tanya and I are big Beatles fans, so when I showed Tanya My Sweet Lord, George Harrison track, she's just like, no,
Does she
no,
shake
no.
her head?
She's like, don't
Exactly.
ever do that again.
Thank
Ooh,
you.
Lord, my sweet Lord. Okay. That's enough vocal stylings for everybody. Thank you for watching our ultimate guide to Metallica. If you disagree with this list as much as we do, let me know. I want to hear your top 10 Metallica songs in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Of course, this is all in support of Planet Cool Stuff, featuring both Cindy and myself. Cindy has an awesome on-screen segment. It comes out today on the history of Universal Monsters.
Today.
If you like pop culture goodness, Planet Cool Stuff is where you need to be. Thanks so much, everyone, and we'll see you again next time. Click.
Thanks.